This is the Helena Citizens Council regular meeting, August 27th, 2025 at 7 p.m. Deputy Clerk, will you please call roll?
John Andrew.
Here.
Lori Fitzgerald. Patricia Bick. See her online.
Yes,
Joe,
here.
thank you.
Yeah.
Joe Lynn.
I think you're saying Joe Lemon here.
Yes, I am. Thank you. Nancy Perry.
Here.
Ann Houserath.
Here.
Sonda Gobb and Diana Hammer are excused this evening. Jeff Brown.
Here.
Paige Myers.
She should be excused too.
I did not. Emily Mowers. Bob Schlock.
Here. Are you done?
Janet Zimmerman. Chase Eaton.
Here.
Ben Kuiper.
Here.
Katie Ryan.
Here.
Ryan Schwacher. William Bettmeyer.
Here.
You. Bob Haybeck.
Here.
Denise Roth Barber. Susan Stephens.
She's up.
That's here.
Here. Susan's here. Thanks.
You have a quorum.
All right, quorum is established. Do we have any public comment at this time? Seeing none, we'll move on. We have a copy of the July 23rd minutes that were sent to everybody via email. I'll now entertain any motions to change those minutes. If there are none, then I will entertain a motion to accept. Seems there's no discussion, so I will entertain a motion.
I'll move to approve the minutes.
Second.
Moved by Eaton, seconded by Hobbeck. All those in favor?
Aye.
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 All those opposed? Motion passes. All right, this time we'll move into presentations. We have Planner Alvarez with the Planning Department, and we will talk about the going forward collaboration between the Planning Department and HCC. Go ahead.
Thank you, Chair. So I am excited to talk about the September 16th open house. It's going to be at 6 p.m. at the Civic Center. We are hoping that we will have comments from this body by that time, or by the end of that meeting, September 16th. Either as a body or just from your steering committee, it's completely up to you how that looks. Otherwise, we are, as per the usual, leaning on HCC to advertise, get the word out, and promote to your constituents the open house. We're looking for a large level of engagement, and then stemming off getting those comments back, we'll be able to schedule our planning commission, city commission dates and things like that once we've been able to digest and incorporate those comments on this draft plan. I didn't really come with a big presentation. I don't have like a slide deck or anything like that. I was told that there was going to be questions from this body for me and to make myself available to you all to answer those questions.
All right, to start off, I was wondering if you know what advertising methods planning department's willing to take on so that we don't duplicate efforts. Like, is there going to be a water bill insert?
Correct. We are doing a water bill insert. Yeah. Otherwise, we don't have much in the way of a budget for materials. So that's our biggest that's our biggest expense is going to be the water bill insert.
Okay. Are there questions? And House Rough?
We get our water bill electronically, so we won't be getting that. But what is this, what is the nature of the water bill insert? The way that I am thinking about advertising things is hanging things on little free libraries. Does the water bill insert? Would it work for that?
It would work for that. Yeah, and it's got a QR code, so people can leave it hanging and just scan it with their phones as they pass by.
So how would we get those from you?
I'll take your information and we'll touch base in the morning. if
But
that's okay.
Mr.
Or this body or.
Mr. Chairman,
Okay.
there are 30 little free libraries within walking distance of my house. They aren't all in my district. And so when Nancy and I did something that wasn't HCC, I went around and talked to just about 7 of the owners and they let me put something up. But I highly encourage you to use this as a neighborhood bulletin board because it's a way of meeting our neighbors. I plan to just sort of build a list of people as we go. I'm using some now for promoting the school bond. So anyway, I would encourage all of you to take advantage of this if you have little free libraries around, because the city's providing the material, we get to meet our neighbors and we get the word out. So how do we all get them from you?
I'll need to see how many we've printed currently, whether or not we have those in hand and whether or not we need to print more, but I don't have that information available currently.
Jeff Brown?
Is there like an electronic version for ourselves
Yes.
that?
I can email that. It might be easiest if I go through you, Dane.
Yeah, if you could email coordinator and we'll get that distributed.
Okay.
Further questions?
So
Barry.
at the open house, are you going to have an agenda? Are you guys going to give a presentation, or what is it you expect of us?
There's at the open house, there's going to be a presentation. Planners are going to be around answering questions as well. The presentation is not going to be like the last Civic Center one we did, where it was an hour and a half presentation. Well, we are going to go through the full slide deck, but it's won't take the full time like we kind of did the last time. It's going to be tables. People should be able to come and go and sit down with the planner and ask questions.
Oh, okay. Will it be
There
several
will be a
people from your
presentation.
organization?
So it'll be household
sitting at
living
various
and
tables.
community development planners. So there will be 4 planners plus Chris Brink, so 5 planners out, and the team from household living.
So is our job basically just to get people there?
Yeah, to get people there and attend
Uh-huh,
and kind of help them through any city processes if they're
I
confused.
see. Okay.
Lori Fitzgerald?
Question for you and the group, I guess, because we had, I think in District 1, we had discussed, do we want to have an open house at the same time or be there as a body?
I think we should collaborate all through the planning department and kind of work everyone into that presentation so that everyone's getting the same info.
Well, we should all be there with our name tags.
It's
and
not
everything.
required, but if you could make it, yes, that would be ideal. So,
I would encourage that.
Yeah, we would. Sorry.
go ahead.
Yeah, the community development department would really enjoy having the HCC present at the Civic Center for the open house. Yeah.
So when we're out promoting this, are we able to tell the citizens that they can give their feedback right then and there when they go? Or do they have to go through a separate process to give that feedback?
Primarily, we're going to be directing people through the QR code and to give comment electronically. We will have the capability to write down and take comment as well, but we are better geared up to take the majority of comments through the QR code.
Okay, understand.
We understand that not everybody will be able to give electronic comment that way, but we're hoping everybody that can will.
And house rep.
So the purpose of the open house is if there, if that's not what, that,
Presentation to the community of the draft plan, and it's the final stop on the comment collection train for this draft plan.
so the last opportunity for public comment will be at the open house. Is that, am I understanding it correctly?
More or less, we are presenting it that way. We're that the comment period won't be fully closed at the end of it, but we would like to essentially be done collecting comment by the end of it.
So the purpose of the open house is primarily for people to ask questions at the very end. And then Mr. Chairman, my other question is the formal presentation, if we're telling people you don't have to stay for the whole thing, is there a schedule for the slideshow presentation? Is that gonna happen right at 6? Is it happening at 6:30?
I believe it's going to start at 6:30, and I apologize for not being more prepared with the agenda for that meeting.
If we could, Mr. Chairman, if David, if you could, when you have that, could you send that out to us? Because again, I want people who come to this to understand as much as possible what's going to happen if they're going to spend their evening, figure out how to spend it well.
We'll check if that's not already posted, and if it is, we'll forward
Thank
it
you.
to everybody.
Thank you.
Okay, any further questions? Yeah, go ahead.
Planner Alvarez, is the agenda for that meeting already on the website anywhere?
The open house?
Yes.
Yeah, so it's listed under on the city's website on the calendar. It's listed under that date, September 16th, under events. And if you click learn more and then learn more a second time. You may need to add a more specific agenda to that.
That's fine. Once it's up, we can get that forwarded to the members for direction. Okay. All right, any further questions? All right, seeing none, thank you, planner, for coming. We appreciate your time and answering all these questions. So unless you have anything to wrap up, good.
No, I just want to add, yes, I do. The zoning and subdivision sections, since I know they've come up before, are being addressed at a later date. So there will be new rounds of public comment periods for those things as well.
Okay.
To clarify on the rollout.
Okay. Just for clarification, are those specific chapters in the draft plan?
They're mandated implementation things as part of adopting as part of the MALUPA regulations from SB 382.
Okay. All right. Thank you so much for your time. We appreciate you coming in.
Thank you.
All right, we'll move into officer reports, and I'll start as chair. Go ahead.
Just, we don't have another meeting before September 16th, so just to be clear, there won't be any comments from HCC as a body. Because there isn't any time for that. And so I just encourage everybody to read the plan and make your own comments. Submit those.
Okay, so there won't be a vote from the body. or a prepared statement then.
That's correct.
Unless we hold a special meeting, it wouldn't fit in the timeline.
Okay.
So I would theorize that'd be pretty low probability that you'll get something from the whole body.
Totally fine. Encourage each and every one of you to give us comments and feedback. Thank you.
Thank you. All right, so now we'll do the chair report. I've continued to meet with the city manager and the mayor regarding our recommendation process. There's nothing definitive that's been decided yet. As of right now, we're going to continue along with, we will forward any recommendation that the body passes to the commission. If the manager deems that it is outside of operations, he'll put it on the agenda. If he thinks that it's too close to operations, it will still be sent to the commission, but not be on the agenda. So we're going to move forward for now. These conversations are still developing though. So that's unfortunately all I have to report for that. We do not have, so regarding elections coming up, we do not have any contested races in any of the districts. So if you remember last cycle when there wasn't a contested commission race or HCC races outside of District 1, I believe, all those elections were canceled to save money. And that is what will likely happen with the HCC elections this year. You are all, if you have signed up to run, you will be elected to that chair. Your race will not be on the ballot. You'll still receive your election certificate and everything like last time. There just won't be an election. So, questions?
So that means there will be no ballot and no way to write anyone in.
Correct. So there was, I'm not entirely familiar with the election laws, but I believe you have to file as a write-in. And then I don't know how that works if random people get written in. But I don't believe there would be that option at this time. And that the decision hasn't been made. The commission's going to vote on that in the future. So it's hasn't been officially made, but that's likely what's going to happen. So any further questions? Okay, that's all I have for the chair report. Vice chair is excused. So we'll move into the treasurer's report.
Okay, so as of today, our budget balance is still the same as it was last time I reported, with $2,340. Since our last meeting though, we have paid in full for the yard signs that are pending, and maybe Alex can give an update on that if there is one, which was $690.88, and that was taken from last FY's budget, so it does not affect what we currently have. Questions on that? Anything? And does anyone have any upcoming expenses that they anticipate, or we can do that in new business? I don't know. I think if we were going to do an open house or something, we would talk about that, but maybe.
Yeah, we do that now.
Last couple of years when the city required insurance money for block parties. I know District 1 asked to take a donation to Bentonia, and we would set up a table there and kind of have an official presence and visit with people. I don't know if anybody has asked about that or if that's still an option.
I was going to follow up with what we talked about last time about block parties, because we had $210 in our budget for FY26 for insurance for block parties, and there was a question last time that that's probably not enough. Like it wouldn't cover the whole block party and maybe not even the whole insurance. I'm not really sure because I don't know what that amount is. But in conversations with the city, we can vote to maybe move some money from, because each district gets $25 for neighborhood outreach, and we could maybe pull from that to supplement if we vote on it and everyone agrees. So I don't know about the Bentonian one and how much we would, is that like $50 or something? Is that what we did
That's
last
what
time?
we did the last couple of years.
I mean, I would think we could. Because is that District 1?
Yes.
So we could use our 25 and maybe ask someone else for their 25 and we could probably do it.
Yeah, I think what we've done also, you know, some of the District One people have chipped in to help compensate also.
So I don't know how that would work.
Sure.
So we would need to like ask each district if they're willing to chip in their 20.
So each district actually has $50.
Oh,
You have
50. I don't know.
$25 for public outreach and then 25 for, I think it says food and beverage cost on there. With the idea that you can combine those two and use some of that money for, like if you wanted to buy chips or candy or whatever for the event that you're attending.
Mhm.
For the Benton Block Party in particular, HCC doesn't put that on, so the insurance cost wouldn't be on this body, it would be on the organizers.
Right, but what I was saying was just to, you know, kind of buy a space at the party, we contributed to their cost for the insurance, you know, and they allowed us to
Did we have a table or something?
we did get a table and all the stuff that went with it, including flyers and you know, there's a tablecloth and
So was there like a registration fee, like a table fee kind of thing?
well,
In some
yeah, I
regard.
mean, it really isn't, but that's what it amounts to.
Yeah, that would be a public outreach / food and beverage cost rather than a full insurance.
We'd have a bowl of grapes or something. Big spenders.
So District One would have enough in our outreach plus food and beverage budget to, if we wanted, if we needed to donate $50 or something.
Yes,
Okay, but we need to vote on it.
yes.
And when is that Ben 20 and party?
September 7th,
Oh, it's really soon.
yes,
Okay, well, let's vote on it. And do you do that or do you?
Sunday evening, 4:30 to 9 or something.
How does that work?
We can't vote on that because it wasn't in the agenda. We can't vote on something that wasn't noticed to the public first.
Mr. Chair?
Yeah.
Can funds be allocated retroactively? In other words, if somebody from District One chips in the $50, can
Can they
the vote be
be
taken at the next meeting to reimburse them for this because it wasn't adequately noticed?
I would say that's kind of sticky because there's the possibility of voting no, right? And then that person's out $50, and
Well-
that's not very fair.
But that's their. Right,
But the whole body has to vote on it.
and I guess that's another question I think we should be clear on this. Why does the whole body have to vote on how a district spends their money?
So I would think that a reimbursement method would be appropriate. That person would take on that minimal risk that it could be voted down.
I mean, I certainly
Like I
will let
said.
you all know that I would vote for you all to spend your money if you want to.
But I think that would be the simplest method moving forward, considering the tight timeline. If someone from District One would be willing to front that. And we can vote on it, post it for the next meeting.
We'll have a group chat, I guess.
Yeah.
The other little heartburn with that is that the public also doesn't have the ability to make comment on that expenditure of tax dollars before it's spent. That's the other portion of why the whole board needs to vote, because it needs to be a public process.
But we could vote the next meeting. And the person could be reimbursed.
And asking for forgiveness of that.
No.
Okay,
Mr.
wait. Okay, I would think there'd be a distinction there because the public could make a comment, we could vote it down. This person's taking a certain amount of risk in the reimbursement. This is purely because of the timeline we've run up against. This wouldn't be standard practice, but
I'll leave that up to you, Chair.
so, Pat, go ahead.
Yes, thank you, thank you. Because the money has already been allocated for District 1 to spend on public outreach, and there's $50 allocated for each of the districts to spend. I think it is a District 1 decision how that money is spent. And we have publicly noticed meetings that we do every month. And at our last meeting, we discussed this, but we could also put it on our agenda for our next meeting to take a final vote on how the district will spend its money. I don't think it's necessarily an issue for the entire board to decide, since the money's already been allotted to the district. And that was decided by the group as a whole. So I
Okay.
move that District 1 take it under advisement for the next District 1 meeting to decide how to spend that money.
Second.
I have a, I have a
Hold on.
question. Oh, sorry.
Okay, so what I'm working off of is what I've been told is city policy, and this is how we have to do it when it comes to allocation of funds. District 1, if you're having specific meetings, you can post what you want on your agenda. The body doesn't have to move to tell you to put something on your agenda. But if it's an expenditure of taxpayer dollars, what I've been told by the city is that city policy requires a board vote. And I can't go against that at this time. So I think what I proposed prior is a reasonable method to do this. We don't need to make any motions. We'll post the expense for next meeting, and the person who takes on that cost will take on a risk that it may not get approved. That work? Okay. Further comments on that? Okay.
Okay. And it's anyway, so, and then Nancy Perry had a question last meeting regarding duplication of materials. And we do have within our budget, as other departments do, like about $91 or in that ballpark annually to make copies of things. And so if we use it up, then we, have to go forward and vote to get more money to do duplication. But I don't think we've ever met that in the recent history anyway. It's like 6,000 pages of something in black and white, or fewer if they're color. No, 4,200 if they're black and white, 1,200 if they're color. So it seems like lots, and I think we should probably be fine. And that's within our it's the same budget that other city departments get for duplication. Did I explain that right?
Yes.
Okay. So any other questions on that? And that's all I had.
All right. So secretary is excused as well. Any general questions for the officers? Seeing none, we'll move on. Coordinator report.
I have a few things for you tonight, including introducing Mr. Damon Hudson. He's gonna be your new HCC coordinator. Stand up and dance and
Hello, everybody. I'm Damon.
this.
I'm new to small form government, so I'm not gonna have all the answers at first, but I'm gonna try my best to help in any way that I can. I did serve 4 years in the Marine Corps before I took on this job, so it's really nice to meet all of you. I hope you're having a great night, and I can't wait to work with you.
Welcome, David.
All right, we, as the city of Helena, every year do a volunteer appreciation, usually a ticket to the Last Chance Stampede Fair rodeo. And this year we opted not to do that because we got feedback that people weren't really using them, or we had a lot that were just not being picked up in our office. So I do have one free ticket for all of you for the Grant Street production of your choosing. So I will, don't forget to come grab one of these before you leave. we're looking to see if the executive committee is gonna have a quorum on September 4th. So I know that a few people are gonna be gone. Diana's gonna be gone. So I guess we're looking for. Well, Lori, are you gonna be here for the executive?
On the 4th
Yeah.
or? That's like next week.
Next Thursday.
Sorry.
What is the meeting for?
Yeah,
Executive committee.
Oh,
Pre-meeting.
I was thinking that chief at HCC.
I mean,
Oh, sorry.
I should be here.
Okay, so we got
Okay.
two, which is fine.
Great. We also have, I'm gonna share that email that I sent scheduling poll to ask if people wanted to keep the time at 7 or move up to 5:30. We got quite a few results back. I don't know if that's big enough for you to see. So most people said that they would like to change that to 5:30, and that's kind of where I'm gonna leave it because it sounds like we have to change the bylaws for that. So just information.
Yeah, so this would require a bylaw change if there is appetite to change the time. That's something we could hear as a body. One thing to note is we only have 3 more meetings before we start a new HCC. That being said, the new HCC doesn't have very many new members on it yet. So I wouldn't discourage anybody from bringing that forward if they would like to, and we can have that conversation. But it would just be a simple bylaw change. So if you do want to have that conversation, feel free to send a draft bylaw change to the coordinator, and we can get that on an agenda. Questions?
How about a comment, Ben?
Yeah, go ahead.
So bylaws, we did a big redo, I don't know, 3 years ago, 2 years ago. I had that up. And so, yeah, I think if the 26th, it's a good way to start the year with a bylaw change.
Yeah.
And other nickel and dime admins. So I keep track of all these other, so there's other nickel and dime stuff in the bylaws. That's a lot of work for just one time change, but there's a lot of stuff we can talk about. So if it's an issue, a January 1 topic, let's look at ourselves. Let's see how we operate. If we want to do time change, et cetera. So I think that's a neat administrative topic to start 26 with.
Great.
All right, any further comments on that before we move on? Okay, do you have anything else?
Red signs. So we landed on for the outreach committee. We've got 30 of them, so enough for everybody to have 1 and a couple of people to have 2. They're up here, they have the stands. I guess I'm not actually showing this. Not either, well, they've seen it, but. They'll just be, we have them here tonight, so you can take 1. And then they'll also be in my office, 323 over here. So if you're online folks, if you're looking for something to do tomorrow or Friday, around yards.
In the rain.
Yeah, in the rain. But they're on weatherproof board, so. Become a kite out in the park. That is all I've got.
Any questions for coordinator or deputy clerk? Okay, do we have anyone from outreach that'd like to make a report? Pat, go ahead.
Oops, yes. My question was, where do we pick up the signs and where do we pick up the tickets to Grand Street?
Yeah, so the signs are in my office, which is on the 3rd floor of the city county building, just around the corner from this 326 room that we're in now. It's room 323. It's a city commission. It's right across the hall from the commission chambers. I can send that out in a follow-up email as well. As far as the Grand Prix tickets, I will mail the ones that are not picked up tonight.
Thank you.
Would anyone like to give an outreach report from that committee?
Yeah, I think Nancy
It's frozen.
HCC has that for October. We had thought we had it for September, so I'm imagining the outreach committee will be talking about this next Thursday. So if you have any ideas for a theme, we had thought, well, let's do it for the land use plan, but October is a little past that. So anyway, if you have any ideas, send them to members of the outreach committee. I'm gonna be out of town, Diana's gonna be out of town, so you
Oh,
send them
good.
to Nancy or Emily
I'm
or
going.
Susan.
I'm going.
A topic that I did get a request from the public is, if we could facilitate a conversation about passenger rail. So that might be a topic that outreach can look at.
Oh, thank you, yeah, but not for that window.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
Sorry.
so, yeah.
I'm sorry, I
thank you.
misunderstood you.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so ideas for hitting, some bulletin board display in that window for October. If you have any ideas, send them to the outreach committee. And yes, thank you, that's a good idea.
Okay, any questions for outreach? All right. We will move into the commission reports. July 30th. They have a list on who did what.
You want, you good. You have one from the August 4th meeting.
Okay, Nancy, August 4th.
It's in the packet. Do you want me to talk about it anyway?
Sure. You can give a brief rundown of it.
Oh, okay. Well, it's kind of an interesting meeting. There were 4 commissioners there, no mayor, so Emily was the mayor pro tem. Start off with a proclamation read by from the mayor about the immigrant community in Helena. There was maybe a month previously, there had been a commission meeting that was a really very emotional meeting. It was a regular meeting, and then the public was invited to come up and comment, and everybody was apparently prepared to comment about the gentleman who'd been arrested and who knew where ICE had taken him, and how we felt about the fact that ICE was coming in and snapping up people and just being ICE. So the people that were talking, the members of the public who came to speak, were being very civilized and so on, but it was a very emotional meeting. So that seemed to have provoked or to cause this proclamation from the mayor. And the mayor said that we recognize the contributions of the immigrant community. We were very aware of the attacks by ICE on immigrants all across the nation and also here in Helena. And Helena stands in support of the rights and so on of the immigrant community. So it was kind of a nice ending to what had happened. Then there was a very educational for me. Apparently every 2 months, there's a consent item on the agenda. And I never understood what that was, but now I understand what it is. The city commission has to vote or they publish for us every check that has been written by the city. And that was quite interesting to see. For the last 2 months of the period when I was there, the city had written $8 million, I think it was $8 million. It was $8 million in checks. And guess where they spend their money? The same places we spend ours. There were lots of checks to Murdoch's, there were checks to drugstores, checks to hardware stores, and so on. And in this report, which goes on for page after page after page, is a listing of and then under regular items, this was really educational, so I wanted to talk to you about this one. When you get your property tax bill, I get mine and I just file it away and I have no idea what those blocks with a million numbers printed in font 2 are all about, but now I know. Those are assessments that the city puts and the county also puts on property owners. And so they're assessments for waste removal and for handling solid waste and for the taking care of the boulevard trees and so on. There's an assessment put on every single property. And if you take the time and look at it, you can figure out what in the heck those assessments are. And the amount in dollars that you're spending each year on the care of the trees in Helena or the trash removal and so on. So that was kind of interesting. Oh, and they have to consider and approve these by the commission every single year. So every single year, the commission votes to say, yes, indeed, we're going to collect trash for another year. And so we're going to be, you have your permission to put this assessment on the property bill. Okay. Then the thing that I know you're the most interested in is what happened to the storm drain, because we're all just waiting with bated breath to learn about the storm drain. The storm drain came up, it had been put out for bids from contractors to put in a bid to do the work for us. And they only got one bid and it was an outrageous amount of money. It was approximately twice what the city had budgeted for it. The engineers in the public utilities department said, oh, we can't possibly, no, we can't do that. But that doesn't mean that we're losing our storm drain on Broadway. What it means is that they are going to reconnoiter, and probably in December, they might put out that proposal for bids again, and they will hope that the contractors who were very busy now and couldn't be bothered with my little storm drain will, in the middle of winter, will think, well, yeah, we could do that next year. And maybe they'll get more bids. Hopefully they'll get some reasonable bids. And I actually went to talk to one of the commissioners, Commissioner Dean, and said, so could you increase the pool of contractors you send it to? And basically they send it to the world. They send it actually out or make it available to people even outside of the state. So they're very widely advertised. And I asked, well, could you talk to, the one bid was from Helena Sand and Gravel. So I said, well, might you discuss this with Helena Sand and Gravel and ask them to make a more reasonable bid? And she took some of my suggestions. She was awfully nice and said she was going to send an email here and email there. So I felt better about that. So that's where we are now. We're waiting and they're going to put that proposal out for bid again. And that was basically the end of that.
Okay. Thanks, Nancy. Any questions? Did we have anybody at the August 13th meeting? Yeah. I can do the 18th. So the 18th was a regular commission meeting. They started by a confirmation of a police officer. And then they moved into recognition of a upstanding citizen, Sierra Poitner. Sarah was a young woman who alerted authorities to the criminal who was planning on carrying out a mass shooting in Helena. And because of her efforts, that was prevented. So she was recognized as an outstanding citizen in the city of Helena. And then the rest of that meeting was a bunch of items to approve special assessments. They do this every year for each budget. This is stuff like urban forestry, stormwater utility, landfill. They went ahead and approved all of those regular assessments that we see annually. And then it's appropriate, I can do the one earlier today. So they had a few things that they moved to a different meeting. I think the most relevant to our interests would be the mini malfunction design update for a proposed roundabout where they currently have that four-way stop. They had a few different proposals by I'm forgetting the word for them, but like an advisor, outside advisor that put together these graphics. And the commissioners asked for a cost estimate for putting in signals and for putting in a roundabout without pedestrian islands and one with pedestrian islands, so that they can have a better idea of how to move forward concerning the cost of the project. So that will hit an agenda later. There was also talk about mill levy presentations. which was the mill assessment based on the Department of Revenue's property valuations of this year. There's some concern that the Department of Revenue has estimated approximately $1 million in new growth. The city feels that that's very low. And if it is indeed low, there is a potential that existing property taxpayers will be subsidizing new development if the new development valuations are low. So the finance director and the commission are going to ask the Department of Revenue for more details on that calculation. But as it stands in the presentation, total mills changed by 1321 or 13.21 mils. So it'll be up 123.64 from 110.43 of the prior year. But as the finance director noted, due to the tiered system passed by the legislature, most residential property taxpayers should see a decrease in their property taxes. So that's what they talked about today. There's going to be further conversations about the mill assessment in the future. Okay. Any questions? Okay, move on. City boards. So we can start with the ad hoc transportation.
Yep. Basically, we met, we talked a little bit about the land use plan. This was the purpose of seeing whether the land use plan reflects comments we've got from our constituents at the open houses. We had scheduled another meeting since nobody but me had comments ready for that. I decided I would submit them on my own, and we didn't have another meeting, and the committee is dissolved. So that's it.
That from the standing schedule. Okay.
I can do the MPO.
Sorry.
I have been attending the Metropolitan Planning Organization Technical Advisory Committee, which is mostly representatives from different agencies. There's one non-motorized representative, Richard Sloan. There was a request to the board this last this last meeting from Dr. Gregory Thomas that he wanted to have a seat for Big Sky Passenger Rail. And they are going to take on, they formed a committee to look at how are they going to potentially address requests for adding members to the Technical Advisory Committee. And this affects HCC because HCC has in the past expressed a desire to have a seat on this committee. So anyway, stay tuned. They are currently still looking at their public participation plan, taking public comments, and also their unified planning work plan. And the MPO has it's called Greater Helena, I think. You'd have to Google it. I've looked at both of these, and the devil's in the details. The plan themselves look good. How they implement them is stay tuned. So I'll continue to sit in on these meetings.
Thank you. Planning board.
I do have a question for
Oh,
Ann.
go ahead.
So on the MPO, this might be two different things, but have they ever talked about the update for the Greater Helena last long range transportation plan?
Yes, and in fact, they've hired the consultant. Is it RPW, RWP, something? It's consultants. It's a local company. And the public participation plan is the first step in that. So yes, they are starting. They will be.
They're just getting started.
They're just getting started on, and I'll let you all know when. So what all they're looking at is, here's how we're planning to do public participation. They haven't started public participation on the plan yet, just public participation on the public participation plan, which looked okay to me.
They considered using other cities in the state as a model,
For
Or do you
the
know,
long range transportation plan.
to go on, yeah. I mean, are they looking at a model city to copy or to
I don't,
follow after?
I don't know an answer to that. The
You will
consultant,
go in the future, no?
The planning did not meet in August. They met in July. And they were tasked with taking the element forward, the land use plan. And leading probably just themselves to formulate their comments. And they had until the end of August to get those in. One thing I talked about with Michael Alvarez was that as they finish up with their comments, get comments from the steering committee, we had a period where we could get into the PDF and make our comments there. And has made some comments, so I guess it's still open for HCC to do so if they see fit. September 16th, they'll have their open house, and then they'll work to consolidate everything, and then it goes back to the planning commission where we've had our steering committee. This planning commission will then vote to accept the document and then move it to the city commission. So that should probably happen. It's probably late fall, but it will happen.
Okay. Thank you. Any questions? Yeah. Public Arts. CCB. Library Board. Golf.
Yes.
Okay.
There was a meeting,
Okay.
and I am not an official vote on the committee. However, I've attended the last two meetings.
Okay.
My wife's had surgery this summer, so that's been crazy for me. But yes, they met on the 19th. No. 15th of July. No, it was the 19th. I'm sorry. Sponsorship for the water station is in the works. They're working on, they have 2 water stations they want to put in the golf course. And seeing that there are no drinking station, no fountains at the drinking station, because they've noticed it in July and August that it got so hot that people complained, but they're working on putting 2 stations where people can come and refill their thermoses and stuff like that for water. So when you're golfing, then there will be water probably next year, but they're working with 3 brothers on that, and that's in the work. The course is in great shape. Discussion for tournaments was good for this year, but they're talking about a limited amount of tournaments next year, and starting things are starting to wind down at the golf course as far as people coming and going, and the Muni is still doing good, and starting to wind down for the season. Leagues are also winding down, so things are kind of going on hiatus for September to May, or October, or September to May, whenever the season opens again. But they meet right through the winter anyway, so they meet once a month. And it's just an hour meeting, and there's usually about 15 members there, or not 15. There's about 7 members or 8, and then it's usually the June meeting. They didn't have a quorum. I couldn't believe that. But anyhow, I enjoy going to the meetings, and they let me sit at the table and soak it in and open. They even let me comment if I want. So and I appreciate that. And Jack, I can't think of Jack's last name right offhand, but he's a good chairman of the committee, and they run the tight ship. And Todd Fair is running a real good course out there, and things are going.
All right. Thanks, Bob. Parks Board.
I wasn't able to attend the Parks Board meeting, I'm sorry, when the Affordable Housing Trust Fund did not meet this month, but they are revamping their criteria and guidance documents for approval by the City Commission.
Okay, thank you. water quality. All right, and that wraps up committees. Did we miss any? Okay, any general questions for the committee reports? All right. At this time, we'll move into new business for the budget line items. And if I understand correctly, we want to table this. Is there, was there a decision made at the outreach?
I don't remember one.
Okay, considering that we don't have the chair of the outreach committee, I believe that the expense that we're talking about is for October, so we can table this to next month. I'd entertain a motion to do so.
So
There is a motion by Houserath, seconded by Fitzgerald to table this outreach expenditure to the next meeting. All those in favor?
I,
Any opposed? All right, motion passes. All right, and now we'll move into new business, future of the city, and this is the Broadway and Beatty pedestrian crossing recommendation that we discussed last meeting. At our executive committee meeting, it seemed that the author, Vice Chair Gobb, had a few developments in this area, and I'm not sure how she wanted to proceed with this recommendation. Considering she's excused tonight, I would also recommend that we table this to the next meeting so the author can be present.
so move.
Second.
All right, there is a motion by Houserath, seconded by Hawbeck, to table this recommendation to next month's meeting. Is there any public comment? Oh, go ahead.
So-
Yeah.
I sought out an advisement from the city on Beatty and Broadway. And I got a reply back that said, we have a contract with a contractor to put in a bulb out and RFB rapid firing pedestrian vehicle, and construction will come soon.
Okay.
Wow.
So that's there. I had gone a roundabout way. My first reply back was that that project was working its way back, and then I went through a more direct online route where a private citizen can ask about a specific situation, and that was a reply back. So obviously that there is something planned for that.
Okay, thanks for that update. So the motion as stands is to table for the next meeting. Is there any further discussion? Okay, seeing none. All those in favor of tabling to the next meeting?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes.
Comment, Ben?
Go ahead.
Just for the group and as part of our learning, I mean, Alex made some very good comments last week when we tabled it. And it's the difference between an operational, i.e. specific recommendations versus more policy, which is broad. And this one, I thought she gave very salient advice of when we give recommendations so detailed, it doesn't give them wiggle room, and it seems Tim Burton, those guys get nervous. Rather making it broad, like please consider a pedestrian crossing on Broadway. It's broad. How they do it and how they sign it is their business. And I think this is coming to a nice ending, it seems like, right, John? But that's just a nice learning, again, for how to present a recommendation that I learned. And that was just good advice, two types. And I get that. And we can deviate as we see fit, but this is a good example that I still think as written and as in the notes, nothing had changed. It's still fairly long.
Thank you.
Thank you, and I agree. I thought that was very helpful to me last meeting. So what John has said brings me to, again, we've gotten a huge number of comments on pedestrian and bicycle safety. And so my question to you is there the way that we can get the city to let us know when they do something like this, so we can report back to people that the city is actually acting on it. I mean, it would be very helpful if we would get a report from the city on bulb outs, where these, any pedestrian improvement. It would be really nice if we could hear about this, because we've put out the policy thing. It would be nice if we could report the specifics, which is what, because our constituents don't care so much about the policy, they care about the specifics. So if we could get that, that would be hugely helpful.
Katie Ryan, yeah.
Not on that specific issue, but I did the same thing. I put in a public request on how do you follow up on issues that are brought up. And my specific one was about the traffic accidents that are happening in a couple of different locations. And they did get back to me, and the director of transportation showed me how you get into their app and you go in and you put in a ticket. It's kind of like a work order, even though it's already been recorded and somebody else has made the complaint. You can get your name on there so that they'll update you on the progress through email or text, whichever one you choose, on a specific issue. So mine was, I haven't done it, but they did tell me the process, but I was questioning the one about the accident issues that were happening over by Bryant School. And then there's another issue that's been coming up over on Dearborn and Gilbert, I think it is, with a lot of accidents occurring. So you can put in a ticket for that, whatever you're questioning, and supposedly they keep you up to date on it.
Thank you. John Andrew.
And so just to do a follow-up to both Ann and Katie. So I did fill in a ticket, and that's, they say they respond within 72 hours of the request and give you an update. And that's where I got it on Beatty and Broadway. The other thing is the greater Helena long range transportation plan for so much, projects that are upcoming. Usually they say that if a project is listed in there, that's kind of on the docket. It also covers accident material, like pedestrian material. So it's a great resource. Unfortunately, the only resource we have now is the 2014 version, which I did look in there and I found nothing. So hopefully we'll get an updated one in the next year or so.
Okay, thank you. Do we have any other member communications for the general good of the order? This time it'd be anything that you would like to comment on, like we were just seeing. So anything?
Not online, but can I pull up the My Helena app so folks know where to go?
Yeah, go ahead.
Piggybacking off all of that, if you go to our City of Helena website, and then there's a big request button here. It takes you to kind of a landing page, but this service request, My Helena app, is what I'm assuming you guys used. Okay. So My Helena app, you can download it on your phone, and like it's just always there for you if you are driving by something and want to put it in there while you're walking by or whatever. And there's lots of good information on here. They got noise complaints, how to do that, how to submit a request. And then this is the sort of portal, for lack of a better word, of service requests and things that other folks from around town have submitted tickets for. Gives you a little update of like, this one's done, this one is received, but it hasn't been interacted with, this one's in progress. So there's lots of really good information here. You can add pictures that you can see. But yeah, so again, that is on the City of Helena homepage. Request button. And then service request, My Helena app.
What are you saying when you say submit a ticket? What's a ticket?
Sure. So it's kind of like a service request or a just like a general
A request for information?
Not necessarily a request for information, like, let's say you're walking by a park and you sure of that and create a ticket or a request in the My Helena app and say, this is a hazard in my community that I see it. I would like to have the city know about this. And that just puts it on that department's radar. So it's in the system and it's and the city knows about it essentially, because they're not everywhere all the time, but people walking around are. So it's a way for you to get your information to city staff, and for other folks in the city to be able to see that it is on the city's radar.
Okay. Any questions or any other general comment?
One more follow-up. Also, you know, on the city's website, you can get to, and I emailed Ann this on the traffic calming program and traffic calming application. That still is a viable program. And, you know, that's a good way to go about getting things done too. Kind of a form, that's under forms, I guess.
All right. Thanks for pointing that out. I think we can start putting in requests for specific traffic stuff and street stuff through that program. I think it'll be efficient. So with that, anything further? Okay, we'll move into public comment. Is there any public comment before we adjourn? Seeing none, this meeting is adjourned. Thank you, everyone.
Yes, ma'am.